Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Today's verse is in Surah Al-Nisa, and it's a fundamental verse that has many important rulings and things to think about. The verse goes like this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُ أَن يُشْرَكَ بِهِ وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَن يَشَاءُ وَمَن يُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ فَقَدِ افْتَرَىٰ إِثْمًا عَظِيمًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here warns His servants and said, indeed Allah does not forgive associating partners with Him. وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَن يَشَاءُ. And He forgives any other sin other than polytheism, associating partners with Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, polytheism, associating partners with Allah, this is the single sin that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not forgive. What about all the other sins? All the other sins, we're talking about major sins. They are under the will of Allah. Allah might forgive and Allah might hold that person accountable with this sin. So Allah might forgive. There's still a chance for forgiveness, but associating partners with Allah, no excuse. That person is in trouble unless he repents to Allah and goes back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this verse states that shirk, polytheism, is not forgiven. And when we talk about shirk, what do we really mean by this? It is directing any act of worship, any act of worship to someone other than Allah, whether it be a tree, a grave, a stone, the moon, the planets, angels and messengers and righteous people and awliya, associating any worship or directing any worship to anyone else other than Allah is considered shirk, polytheism, worshipping someone other than Allah. And here the hadith, it is considered pure oppression. Yeah, it's pure oppression. Look at this hadith. The Messenger Muhammad was asked, أَيُّ الذَّنْبِ أَعْظَمُ? Which of the sins is the gravest, the most dangerous of sins? The Messenger Muhammad said, أن تجعل لله ندا وهو خلقك. To associate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a partner, an equal, to make an equal with Allah, and He is the one who created you. You know, some scholars have said something very interesting. They said every sin that a human sins, whether that be adultery, drinking, stealing, it always has to do with lust, with desires, except associating partners with Allah, polytheism. He said this is pure oppression. This is pure oppression. And the example that is always mentioned in the Quran is invocation. أَنَدْعُو مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ تَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ أَدْعُو مِن دُونِ. It's always ad'u, invocation, because this is the worship that is mostly directed to someone other than Allah. So if you want to ask someone, you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You do not ask any messenger or any angel. You direct your worship to Allah alone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that asks His servants, and He commands His servants to invoke and to worship Him. So how dare that servant directs this worship to someone other than Allah? And let's make this clear. Every single creation, all creation need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is free of need. That those people who direct their worship to messengers who are in their graves, wallahi, those messengers in their graves, they earn for Allah's mercy. They have no control over what will be done to them. Allah alone is in control. Even intercession, some might say, well, what if I ask the Messenger Muhammad for intercession, making dua, asking the Messenger? That still goes under the same risk. This is the years asking intercession from someone who is dead. The Messenger Muhammad ask the intercession from Allah. قُلْ لِلَّهِ الشَّفَاعَةُ جَمِيعًا. Ask Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He commands His servants to invoke Him. وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. So Allah Azza wa Jalla is telling you, call on me. Ask me, and you go and direct that worship to someone other than Allah. This is really ugly. It's as if you're saying, you know what, Allah might not give me this. I will just direct this worship to someone else. This is an insult to Allah. And that's why it's a grave sin. It's really belittling Allah. Astaghfirullah al-azim. Allah is the great. Lahu al-asma'ul husna, the creator. You ask Him alone. He alone can help you. If Allah does not help you, no one on this earth can help you. No one on this earth can save you. If Allah decides that that person is not worthy of an intercession, no messenger, no angel, no one on this whole wide world can make a difference. No one. It is up to Allah. Even the intercession, you ask Allah to accept, to make the intercession of the Messenger Muhammad ﷺ valid for you. So you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the intercession of the Messenger Muhammad ﷺ. Yeah, and there are some acts of worship. Intercession needs, a talk by itself. So this verse clearly states the danger of associating partners with Allah. And you know what? There's also something very interesting regarding this verse. Something that Ibn Kathir has mentioned. He said, وَهَذِهِ أَرْجَى الْآيَاتِ يعني, meaning this verse is one of the most hopeful of all verses. How? Why? Well, think about it. Allah Azza wa Jal said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُ أَن يُشْرَكَ بِهِ. Allah does not forgive associating partners with Him. What does that mean? All other sins are under the will of Allah. Allah might forgive. We are talking without tawbah. We are talking without tawbah. Even kaba'ir, yes, even kaba'ir. If a person was very good, was sincere, was always conscious and aware of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala might just forgive these sins. But shirk, associating partners with Allah, yeah, that's your ticket out of Islam. So be careful. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and understand that this whole Islam, revolves around this La ilaha illallah. A person does not become Muslim until he declares and understands and sincerely believes in La ilaha illallah. So this is the most important thing in a Muslim's life, La ilaha illallah. And think about it, all the messengers were sent to their nations not to establish prayer and siyam. These things came after what? La ilaha illallah. When the Messenger Muhammad sent Mu'adh ibn Jabal, the first thing you call them to is La ilaha illallah. فَلْيَكُنْ أَوَّلَ مَا تَدْعُوهُمْ إِلَيْهِ شَهَادَةُ أَن لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Not prayer, not zakah, not anything. La ilaha illallah. If they agree to this, then talk to them about prayer and all the other things. So this is the explanation of this verse. هذا والله أعلم وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. جزاكم الله خير.